It's steel cage time. And Big Papa Joppa looking to reclaim the MCW Heavyweight Championship. And the man to call this match is none other than referee Mike Keener, who holds up that MCW title high. Once the cage encloses, the war can ensue. The problem is, Emperor Keys always has a trick up his sleeve. But the problem tonight is on Joseph Keys, because the Keys have locked the cage, and Joseph Keys and Ken Dixon are enclosed in it. No way in, no way out. And Joseph Keys starting to realize that, as he is feeling backed into a corner by Big Papa Joppa himself. Quite the stare down between these two. It's been quite the brawl this year. Joe looking to steal this one early with a quick roll up there, but Ken was quick to figure it out. Joe tried to put some force to break the cage door open, see if he could give it any give. And now these two tie up collar and elbow. Who is going to get the upper hand in the early ongoings of this MCW title match? Oh, back elbow, nails Dixon. Joe, who has been building his kingdom since winning the MCW heavyweight title. It could be time to continue the rise of the Coliseum if he can put away Ken Dixon once and for all with a side headlock takeover, trying to drive Ken Dixon into the mat and keep Big Papa Joppa grounded. These two have very different personalities inside the ring. Ken Dixon is your type to get into an argument with you at a bar, and Joseph Keys is very straight to the point. Oh, I was in the middle of saying something, but the problem is Joseph Keys tried to run the ropes, but pounced right on the steel cage. And speaking of getting pounced on, and it's Ken Dixon stomping a mud hole and beating the life out of Joseph Keys here in our MCW title main event. Ken was trying to drive Joe's face into the cage, but Joe blocked it. Ken almost got launched into the cage, but Keys blocking it. It's all fair game when the cage comes down, when the cage surrounds these two. These are two of the top superstars that MCW has to offer. It's time to take a ride, because Joe gets catapulted right into the cage. But look at that. Joe actually trying to scale the cage instead, perhaps trying to take the easy way out of this match. But Ken meets Joe, and a side Russian leg sweep off the top rope. And high impact crash and burn. And Ken looks to capitalize as Joe is laid out, but not laid out quite enough to let go of that MCW heavyweight championship. And Joe trying to pull himself back to his feet, but Ken is right there to fight right back with another clubbing blow to the champion. And Ken Dixon is not leaving any room for Joseph Keys to get a breather, But Joe has right where he wants Ken, and power bombs Ken right into the cage. And Dante Caballero in supporting of his chief in command, Joseph Keys, as Ken once again spine first into the cage. Mike Keener counting the pinfall, but only enough for a 2. So close yet so far. Ken is not where he wants to be, as Joe putting all of his weight on the hands. Oh, counters. Sends Ken once again in the cage. Joseph Keys has really turned things around in this matchup. In the early ongoings, it seemed like Joe was running away from Ken, but now it's been the opposite. It's been all Joseph Keys getting his hands on Big Papa Joppa. And the thing is, Dante Caballero and company, all they can do is watch the hustlers who have been under the learning tree. Teddy Prince, Jet Empire. They have spent the past year growing with the kingdom of the Keys. Oh, that was a nasty uppercut. You heard a load full of that one. And Ken Dixon certainly felt all of it. Joseph Keys once again looking to scale the cage. Perhaps looking to climb out. Or maybe he's looking to risk it all. Why risk it all when you can take it all easy? Yeah, Joe was looking to escape. Ken realized what was going on. Dixon doing everything he can to pull Joseph Keys down. And it's Dixon who makes the climb as well. Oh! And sending Joseph into the corner of the cage where those supports are. Those are just straight steel. Those straight steel pipes. Hit Joseph, went face first into him. Then the dangerous territory. And a swinging neck breaker. I don't know who got the worst of that one. But both of them crashed and burned. Ken able to get the shoulder over Joe. But Joe able to get the shoulder up before the 3. Ken, who got quite a bit of the damage on that swinging neck breaker as well. They don't call it high risk for no reason. Throwing yourself caution to the wind. As these two are now up. But Ken Dixon is fired up. And Joseph Keys keeps going down. It could be time to lay out Keys. But raking the eyes of the challenger. And snaps up and lays out Dixon. Down goes Big Papa Joppa, and it could be over. But again, Ken Dixon finds a way to stick with it in this MCW title match. And Joseph Keys called for something from his hustlers, Teddy Prince and Jet Empire. What in the world are they grabbing? They're looking for something. Perhaps something was planted under the ring. Oh! And I see what they found. They found a chain. This is going to get a lot worse. If the cage wasn't it wasn't worse enough. Wasn't devastating enough. A chain has been added for extra impact. And gonna wrap it around the neck and choke the life out of Ken Dixon. in the hands of the Emperor, all bow down to Joseph Keys as he looks to put the final button on the shirt, the final nail in the coffin. And Ken Dixon being treated like a mutt with a chain around the neck of Big Papa Joppa, and the Hustlers now choking Dixon while the chain is on the outside of the ring. And Joseph Keys has some birds for the crowd. And Ken Dixon can only do as much as squirm for life. And look at this. Dante Caballero hands Joseph Keys a water to just enjoy the moment. Get a nice little water break in mid-match. Oh, I'm feeling thirsty. Why not enjoy a water? And Joseph Keys barking at referee Mike Keener to check on Dixon to see if he's still able to continue in this matchup. And Ken Dixon, it's just not easing up for Big Papa Joppa whatsoever. That's why you never put your hands on Mike Keener. He don't play games. And referee Keener just pushed back Joseph Keys. I'd be careful if I were you. And Keener saying, your problem's not with me. Your problem's with Ken Dixon. And Keener saying, tap him or pin him. That's all on you. Keener isn't gonna take any of this from talk about laying down the law. You may be champ, but Keener making him feel small and putting him in his place. But Dixon somehow finding the strength to break free, even with Dante Caballero, who's a former MCW heavyweight champion in his own right. Oh, and all three, the Hustlers and Caballero, get sent into the cage as Dixon is free. And now Dixon has the chain in hand and has the chain of command. And sends Keys into the cage. Back and forth around the world we go. And now it is Dixon calling the end. And now the end could be near. And the Emperor's downfall could be here. Dante doing everything he can to try and rip the cage open. And the outside referee goes down at the hands of Caballero. I think he just grabbed the key from the second official. They should have been banned from ringside. But the thing is, it's all legal. There's not a lick of anything that the officials can do about it. But Ken Dixon's got himself an extra surprise here at Higher Ground. Oh, grating Joseph Keys' face like Parmesan cheese. And pummeling away on the face of the Emperor. The unforgiving steel. And now Dixon hammering away on Keys. Opening the cage was still one. Oh, snap power slam. Will it be? Oh, come on. But Caballero pulls the referee and stomping away on Keener. Uh-oh. I think you might want to look at Dixon, who's not very happy. Oh my. It's been a little bit for Dante Caballero since the boots have been laced. He might be a little bit out of his game and realize the ball game has changed as he looks to run away like a little chihuahua from Ken Dixon. And Ken Dixon telling him, it's okay, you're going to eat it regardless. You might as well just take it right now instead of trying to squirm away and make this situation a lot worse for yourself. Oh, but a back elbow stuns the challenger. Ripcord, clothesline, lays out Dixon. And Ken Dixon is out like a light, and it could be time for Joseph Keys to capitalize, and the Emperor will stand supreme. Will it be? As Joseph gets the arm over Dixon. I don't even think Keener knows what's happened the last minute or so. And now he starts the cover. Will it be enough? 2. Oh! But Ken Dixon does not stay down. There is still life left in Big Papa Joppa. But with life left in Big Papa Joppa, he strikes fear into the eyes of Dante Caballero, who tries to escape the cage. But by the ankles. Oh, but Keys closes the cage on the skull of Dixon. And again, slamming the cage on Big Papa Joppa. It has been a grueling battle. This match is supposed to be decided within the cage and not outside of the confines of this steel structure. We are now in extra territory outside of the zone. And the MCW fans are making their voices heard, calling Joseph Keys Sloppy Joe. And announcer Danny Mays reminding the MCW audience that this match can only end via pinfall or submission. This match cannot end by escaping the cage, but Ken Dixon just went into the cage at the hands of Joseph Keys. Joseph Keys is reigning supreme right now, showing I am the law of the land. There is a reason I lead this Coliseum. There is a reason that they call me the Emperor. And like a pack of wolves. But Ken Dixon even trying to get a few shots in, trying to push back. And he's doing it. Trying to pump some leftover adrenaline through the body. There goes Jet Empire. Down goes Teddy Prince. And the Hustlers are down. And now it's Key. And now it's Caballero and Ken Dixon. And Keys is all alone. Keys making a run for it. That's some MCW heavyweight champion for you. There is now nowhere to run. And there's certainly nowhere to hide. And begging for mercy is the Emperor. How ironic is this? Joseph Keys trying to extend the hand for peace. But we are way beyond that. Joseph Keys went for the boot to the midsection. Ken blocked it. Dixon's got Keys up. Looking to plant Keys. But Keys realized he was in deep trouble. And out-muscling Dixon. Dixon counters the weight, shifting the weight, and down goes Tombstone Pile Driver. And look at the way that the frame of Keys just got driven into the mat. But Dixon's knee may have taken some damage in the process. But what is this? What is this about? That's Patrick Clark. That's the dream. That's the dream, Patrick Clark. What is he doing out here? What could this mean? When he helped Joseph Keys, let's not forget Dundalk. He helped Joseph Keys retain the title. I get the feeling that smirk on the face of Patrick Clark as he's got his eyes laser focused on going after Ken Dixon. The cage is closed. And Ken saying, let's go, Patrick. Oh, but a low blow from Joseph Keys. And just kicking the lifeless body of Dixon down is Patrick Clark, who comes to the aid once again of Joseph Keys, but this time with serious purpose. It's clear as day that Patrick Clark is for the Emperor and lives by the Emperor. And Patrick Clark, perhaps just shifting. Oh, and Keener eats steel. But what's going on? There's going to be no end to the match if the official's down. And now Ken experiences the steal, and here comes the Hustlers back into the game and back into the fray. This is an absolute mugging. An absolute mugging of Big Papa Joppa. This was a ruse all along. At the mercy. They are all for the Emperor and all a part of Joseph Keys' Coliseum. Look where Patrick Clark is on the top rope. The Dream driving the elbow straight through the heart. And it certainly wasn't too late. The only thing that might be too late is a heartbeat from Ken Dixon that might have missed a few. Absolute destruction like this. And Caballero clapping on the outside of the ring. And it's Patrick Clark who's now barking orders at the Hustlers, telling them to pick up Ken Dixon. Has Patrick Clark done the blood oath to Joseph Keys? It's going to become a super duper power bump. But here comes Spencer Slade. Spencer Slade has had his issues with the Hustlers, with Joseph Keys, with Patrick Clark. And there it goes. A German suplex lays out Patrick Clark, trying to come to the aid of Ken Dixon. And fighting in the back is Spencer Slade and Patrick Clark. But now there is still hope for Dixon with some of the odds taken out of the equation. Ken lifting Joseph Keys up on the shoulder. He's got Keys right where he wants it, but Keys raking on the face, pulling on the nose. Oh, rolls through. And he's got Ken Dixon stacked. And he pulled the tights. And Joseph Keys has stolen this. Dixon holding onto his face. And after all of this, it took like 4 or 5 people to put away Ken Dixon. Nonetheless, Joseph Keys is still your MCW heavyweight champion.